Welcome back, everyone, to this edition of Try Hard Truck with me, KCD, where I do the best I can with what I've got, which is not a lot of talent, but a whole lot of... Why is it telling me to close the function when I'm just backing up? A whole lot of curiosity about how the game works sometimes. William says, "What's up, YouTube?" Yeah, you know I see it before it appears in the YouTube chat box. That way, if anyone says anything untoward, I can always delete the message before it goes out on YouTube. But don't push it, because I often don't see the messages right away. All right, we are in the message of trying to get these wooden planks for this bridge. And since I am well, here's the map. In case you didn't watch the last episode, I got a ways to go. But I'm gotta drop off 2 wooden planks here for the bridge. And there's lots of places I can get wooden planks. Like, I can get them off of this truck here. The problem is, they're on this trailer, and this trailer and wooden planks have to be delivered somewhere else. So rather than pulling them off of this trailer, I'm gonna come over here to this wooden framing site. Because part of what I do is make sure that I take all the temporary cargo off the map. I'll try to deliver it. I'll try to use it if I can. If I mess something up and I end up accidentally using, which I did already on this map, I'll use permanent cargo when I could have been using temporary cargo. Or if I get through the whole map and there's some temporary cargo left over, then I will just go ahead and delete the cargo. I'll put it on the loading platform and delete it, because my philosophy is, like a good naturalist, you bring only, how does it go? You bring only memories, and you take only memories, and you leave only footprints. So that's what I'm doing. When I finish a map, I take only memories and the satisfaction of job well done. And I also strip everything I can off of the map and delete it. So that I leave behind only tire tracks. Part of my 100% complete. All trailers are sold. The whole map is scanned with the radar trailer. And all contests, all contracts, all tasks are done. And as I said, all trailers are sold, and all cargo is, in one way or another, removed from the map. Used if I am able to use it. If I screw something up and there's still cargo, I'll delete it. Now, obviously, I can't delete the cargo from warehouses to have an unlimited supply, but any place that has a limited supply, I'll use it. So, it might take me a little bit more out of the way, but, you know, the cargo is at the framing sites intended to be there. The fact that they have these framing sites that are people building houses, and you decide you're going to tear it down and take the materials, feels a little creepy. Like, oh, these are framing sites. Now, framing sites means they put up the frame for a house or a building, right? And you're like, no, I'm not going to let them build a building here. I'm taking this. I do have that one already, right? Fallen Rocks, make sure I already have that one triggered. If not, I'll stop by and trigger it. I do have it triggered, okay. And the reason I am doing this particular task, I might be able to get a more efficient task, but the reason I'm doing this particular task is because that bridge is important for me to get the Rezvani over to get to some watchtowers. And I prioritize scouting And sometimes, while prioritizing scouting, I also have to prioritize opening up roads. So, and then after that, whatever other tasks, and then after that, well, tasks and I guess contests if they're close by. And then I don't often look at the contracts until I'm down to just a few tasks to do. I know sometimes that can't be the case. Sometimes you have to really prioritize the contracts. You can't find all the buildings and stuff until you do the contracts, or you can't find all the tasks. So once I get the map all settled out, I'll do some easy tasks and then I'll look at the contracts. But I won't move on to the next map. I did stop in there last YouTube episode just to open the map up, because sometimes you can't do contracts until you've opened up a map, or tasks until you've opened up a map. But I found the waypoint and opened up the next map, or the whatever it's called. Not waypoint. I don't know what it's called. Gateway. I found the gateway. And so I'm good to go. Is it dark already? It is. I don't play in the dark because I know it's difficult for people to see. You see how dark it is at 6 a.m. here too, so. There's nothing else I need to fill there. I'm gonna need more frugal. I got a spare water bottle here. I did not get another can of soda. I don't want to use up my complete soda quota for one stream, but I probably will today. I do drink soda with ice while I'm streaming. Caffeinated soda usually, but sometimes I limit the amount of caffeine I have too. Unless I have a migraine, I have a headache today, then I'll take some caffeine, more caffeine. The reason to drink it with a full glass of ice, and then it lasts longer, and I get, okay. Mr. Rezvani, you have to get out of the road. I hate to say this to you, but you need to move it. You are my best scout truck, no doubt about that. But yeah, you're gonna have to park it over here. And then he's actually gonna come back in the opposite direction. Whoops, wrong thing to do there. Stop the engine. All right. Thanks, buddy. I'll honk the horn at you as I go by. Warning, this is a loud horn. Okay. I love this horn. Now, what's the best way to get there? I marked it all out on the map. I mark everything on the map. I mentioned this last episode because some people, they claim that they're telling you how to efficiently get through all the locations, but then they just drive like this without markers, and you have no idea. They don't show you the map, so you have no idea where they're going, what tree they're turning down. All the trees look the same when you haven't played the game before. I don't know what tree you're going down. You're not showing me the best way to get from area to area. You're just showing off. I mean, if you want to speed run the game, that's fine. Don't show the map of your speed running, but then don't say you're teaching when you're actually trying to beat your personal record. I'm an old man. I get to complain a lot. I wish I could just hit a button to look around behind me, but I can't. Do this. See the sign there. Gold Horse Mining. Yukon Gold. I guess the premise here is we had a flood during the Golden. Oh, there's one hilarious thing. I think it's Wisconsin. They say Wisconsin is flooded because they had a hurricane. And I live in Minnesota, right next door. Obviously, the people that wrote that had no idea where Wisconsin is. Wisconsin is very close to the very center of the North American continent. It's about as far away from ocean as you can get. Actually, here in Minnesota, I'm even farther away from the ocean. So they have never had a hurricane in Wisconsin, nor will they ever until, you know, many millennia, million years from now, maybe only 100 years, depending on how high the seas raise. But they have never had a hurricane in Wisconsin since the North American continent was attached to Africa. So anyway, and then there was something else that someplace that would have potentially have a hurricane, but instead it had some other disaster which would have been appropriate to Wisconsin. I don't remember what it was. Okay. Somewhere over here there's a framing site. You see the water was not an issue. And I'm going to have to go all the way back the same way, so I have to mark it again. It's not like I remember the trees that I went by. This is it, right? All right, and this is sad. Look, it's sad. Somebody started building a house here. It looks like it was going to be a beautiful house, too. I mean, I'm jealous. I had a nice house, but unfortunately, you know, times are tough, and I had to sell the house. I suppose you couldn't live in it right now. I hope they got good insurance. That's all I can say. I hope they got good insurance for this. Tearing down their house. Look at the house. It's so sad. Bam! It's gone! Nothing left of the foundation. Maybe they'll be able to rebuild. Yeah, I'll think of it that way. That they got good insurance. Oh, wow. When I first saw this, I saw Wesel on Wheels play this. Shout out to Wesel. And I saw the framing sites and how you just destroy the foundation. Like, oh, that's sad. But, you know, that's the way of life. I do miss my house, by the way. It's a beautiful house. Okay, let's see. Now I am delivering it to this bridge, and I have two ways of getting there. I can either go across this river, and I'm not sure I can get across the river, or go back the long way. And I'm going to go back the long way because that's a way I know I can go. And it didn't take that long to get there. Well, let's go back the long way. It's not quite as long as the trip here because I went past the place where I have to drop the goods off. It's over. Got to avoid the pipe. Yeah, somebody gave me the hint, and I didn't remember this from watching Wesel. Do not fix the pipe until you're ready to leave the map. Last thing you should do is fix the pipeline, because otherwise it blocks off your path. I don't like it when there's secret knowledge like that. I really complained about the last map, Kola Peninsula. It took me longer to do Kola Peninsula than any other map by 30%. Lost en route. I have that, right? Lost en route, yeah. Ah, no, back on the map. Yeah, I was quite upset at Kola Peninsula because it required information. William, that is one of the best trucks back in the first game. Yes, this truck is awesome. Was this truck also in MudRunner or Spintires? Is that what you mean by first game? This is the best truck you can buy, and I did have to buy it. In fact, I have 2 of these trucks because I could. It was this truck that led me to start my Let's Play, because if I had to do the Let's Play with just the trucks, stream my Let's Play, if I had to go play through this game with just the trucks that I found on the map, I tried to get through Michigan, and I got maybe halfway through Michigan, and I was ready to sell the game. Ready to give up on the game because there was no way I was making it through the game. I tipped over so many times, and you know, I was a newbie, but I tipped over so many times. It's like, this is not worth it. I am not going to play this game anymore. But then, no, it's easier. But then I got somebody who I used to play with turned me on to this vehicle and said, "Hey, do you have all the DLC?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Here, come to Russia in a team game." He said, "Come to Russia, join my game. Come to Russia, and then you can buy this truck. You have to be in Russia to buy it." I bought the truck, drove it around. I was like, "Wow, this is the best thing ever." Spintires was the first game. Okay, I thought that's what you were talking about. That game got out of Steam from unknown reason, but most believe it's because of a lawsuit from the new owner of MudRunners. Yeah, I don't know all the details, but Spintires I know is independently created. And what was Spintires basically became MudRunner. I mean, the independent developers are bought out, and they kind of, my understanding is they recreated it as MudRunner. So, you know, Spintires was kind of like, you could say it was the beta for MudRunners, or you could say it was stolen for MudRunners. However you want to say it. Spintires was the direct was what led to the first big commercial version, MudRunner. Yes, Spintires. Well, they had ground deformation. That was what it was known for, their ground deformation. They had ground deformation before the real engine, or the Unreal Engine had it. Now everybody uses the Unreal Engine if they want ground deformation. But SnowRunner and MudRunner and all the others, they have their own proprietary ground deformation engine. I've never played Spintires. Spintires never available for console, and by the time Spintires came out, I had already switched over to playing on console. So the only game I played was MudRunner. Even the truck you're in now would get destroyed by a small hill. You had to have real knowledge to drive that truck, yeah. If that's the case, I would have never played it anyway, because I'm a tryhard. I'm not very good at things. One of the reasons I appreciate SnowRunner and MudRunner is because I can play them. You can make the game harder, but you know, I've gone on this before. Usually when I'm playing racing games, why do they have to make racing games only extremely difficult? It's so easy to make a racing game easier. You just slow down the cars. You just slow down the AI. Now, to make a game like this easier or harder, you have to be more creative. And so New Game Plus is great because you can make the game even harder than hard mode. You can make the game easier than normal mode. So I very much support games that have a wide range of difficulty levels. Because a lot of people that develop the game, they don't realize they're just cutting off their audience. If people buy the game and it's too difficult for them, why narrow your market of people that you can sell the game to only people that have, like really tough, only people that are trying to prove their manhood because of how tough the game is. I think that's part of it. If they release a game, there's always a group of people that are going to say, oh man, that game's too easy. I beat that game in 5 minutes. That game's too easy. And they're the loudest voices on Reddit and whatever, Discord. That game's too easy. That game stinks. I beat it in no time. Now, a good percentage of the people that say that are probably just lying. They're just trying to... Maybe they sweated through the game for 72 hours straight, but then they say they beat it in 5 minutes. But, anyway, having it, you don't want a game that's too easy, and that's the only difficulty level is one that's trivial. But you also want a difficulty that's easy enough to appeal to people that maybe, maybe play with a disability joystick or something, They don't necessarily have the manual dexterity or access. They don't necessarily have the physical ability to play with the most optimal equipment. They released Age of Empires on Xbox. Now it's on PlayStation. And they made the joystick controls really smooth. Now, can you play it as well as you could play it with a mouse and keyboard? No, probably not, but they made it accessible so you could play it and still have fun. Have fun against your your friends and stuff playing it. So. There's no reason to make games only for difficult enough only for the elite gamers. You just close off your audience. You can do that. And this is coming from a guy. It's not like I'm new to video games. It's not like I'm new to driving games. This is coming from a guy who's played video games ever since there were video games. I'm old enough that I was a teenager when video games first came to the bowling alleys and the pinball arcades. Yeah, that's the whole Dark Souls shtick, right? You only have one difficulty level, and you make it as difficult as possible, and nobody gets through it. It's like Flappy Birds. Well, that's great. So you have 10% of your prospective audience buy the game and enjoy it and brag about how they got through it. And you have speedrunners that play it, and they play the entire 7 series without ever getting in a row in 24 hours or however long it took. I just saw a video on that. Without taking a hit. You get through the entire thing without taking a hit. Yeah, you're an elite gamer. You can do that. But what happens? If you made an easier version of the game, you would quadruple your audience. You'd make 4 times as much money. Anyway. Thank you, William, for getting me off my soapbox with another chat. You just fell in love with a new car, the Subaru Impreza from 2001 Dirt Rally. Oh yeah, the Subaru is awesome. Although I talk about the 4 controversial things you don't talk about on this channel. You don't talk about religion, partisan religion, fear of religion, fine. You don't talk about partisan religion, you don't talk about or secular religion, you don't talk about partisan politics, you don't talk about Coke versus Pepsi, and you don't talk about Ford versus Chevy. And it may be that you shouldn't I shouldn't allow, because I play Dirt Rally, you also shouldn't talk about Subaru versus Mitsubishi, because that's a big that's a big rivalry too. I was thinking about, as a joke, putting words like Coke and Pepsi in my monitor list, so that if you try to say something that has the word Coke or Pepsi in it, the chat gets held until I approve it. I love the Peugeots too. The Bug Eye is your favorite Impreza. See? We're gonna do it. Subaru versus Impreza. No controversial topic. Hi, Cosbox. I see your chat there. The beloved 205 is still in your heart. Yeah, I drive, what is it, the 206 I think I drive in Dirt Rally 2. I love that car. Is it the 206? I don't remember which one it is. Lancers, yeah. I like, you know, I don't have a preference between Subaru and Impreza. In the games, or Subaru and Mitsubishi, in the games that I've played, like Forza Motorsports and Horizon and all those games, I think I have enjoyed driving the Subarus better. But in the rally games, you know, I don't have a preference. In the rally games, of course, you know, there are no Chevys in Dirt Rally 2, so you have no choice but to drive a Ford. And I like the Fords a lot. But as far as what you want to drive in real life, you know, Ford versus Chevy is a big thing. Or if you're talking trucks, Ford versus Chevy trucks. I heard a dingalingo. What was that dingalingo? Well, someone just followed me. Hey, brother, if you're a real person, give me a shout out, so I know you're not just a bot trying to sell me viewers or subscribers. I'll give you a verbal shout out if you're an actual real person. I used to get people shout outs all the time, and I heard the dingalingo. There you are a real person. Well, thanks a lot, brother. Tomb Raider Matt. Oh, I guess you've played some Tomb Raider in your day, have you? Thanks for joining the stream. How old of Tomb Raider have you been playing? You're going to say the truth. Subaru had more handling, like the Mitsubishi was also very powerful. I kind of think that might be, I don't know, is that the reputation that the Mitsubishis are a little bit more powerful, but the Subarus handle better? Very old? Good to hear it. I'm an old retired guy, so, you know, Tomb Raider to me is like the early 3D graphics, like GoldenEye. You know, the OG games like that. My first adventure game that I played was called Adventure on the Atari 2600, where you had to collect keys and run away from dragons, and it was all 2D pixels. You have two uncles talking about Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider looked like pizza? Triangle? Okay, are we gonna get into a? We've already finished our Subaru versus Mitsubishi war. Are we gonna get into a pizza versus Tomb Raider war? Let's talk. As long as we're on the subject, let's talk about let's go all meme. Let's talk about pineapple on pizza. One, if you're open to pineapple on pizza. Two, if you hate the thought of pineapple on pizza. One in chat for pineapple. Two in chat for no pineapple. Now there's the right emote. You know I'm joking around. Some polygons did look like Doritos and Tomb Raider, yeah. Early 3D. How about Quake? That's my game, Quake. Early 3D graphics. Although I did play, like I said, GoldenEye a lot. And I played GoldenEye, and I played its spiritual sequel, Perfect Dark, on my 12-hour marathon streams on occasion. I live in Minnesota, and so there's a very popular type of pizza here. I'm sure other places too, but we call it Hawaiian pizza, and maybe it's called Hawaiian pizza everywhere. But what it is it's Canadian bacon and pineapple on a regular marinara cheese pizza base. And I love Hawaiian pizza. So I think a lot of people that say they don't like pineapple on pizza just don't like the thought of pineapple on pizza, and have never really tried it. But you know, to each his own. I don't like the thought of certain things on pizza either, because there's certain things that I would not eat. But you know, to each his own. There was a place, I don't remember, but there was a place that had dessert pizzas. They called them pizzas, but they were just like dessert. Well, they were pizzas, but they were meant for dessert. So I don't know if they had fruit ones. It was mostly like whipped, you know, on a pizza base. It was like frosting and cake or ice cream or stuff. Let's see. Your first Alcanar game was Call of Duty 2. Oh, action game was Call of Duty 2. Okay. Yours was Halo. My first shooter was probably Doom. Although that might not be true. I also played Duke Nukem. I played Wolfenstein 3D, so probably Wolfenstein 3D. That came out before Doom by the same people. Although, yeah, I mean, on the original Atari or whatever, I don't remember if there were any. There might have been something on the Commodore, on the Atari computer too, I don't know. I don't remember. All right, we are stopping the engine. We are delivering our cargo. We are delivering our cargo. Bam. We're going to listen to the music now, folks. Oh, watch the animation first. Now, you can see, they paid an intern to write this flavor text. Usually there's this whole, you know, well, now the farmers can get to their tractors and, you know, the food chain will be saved. Thanks a bunch, Roll Cage, or whatever my name is here. But instead, the flavor text is, super, you did it. Great. Yeah, I did it. Oh well, I will instead take your money. Thanks for the animation. Wolfenstein is a masterpiece. Did I read that already? Black bean pizza. Yeah, black beans on pizza sounds good. I like black olives on my pizza. Mostly Halo 4 because you felt like a badass. Yeah. Halo was good. I never actually played Halo, but since I play on the Xbox, you would think that, you know, I would play all the Microsoft games, but I never played Gears of War either. All right, let's see what's next. I have no idea what's next. I haven't thought this through. Oh, well, I've got to get the Hercules over here. I want to get the Rezvani over here to get to there. Now, I could probably get to there in this truck, so I don't need the Hercules. I might get stuck through the trees, but I'll give it a shot. Do I have to actually get to the watchtower to open up the view now? No, I did enough scanning everywhere. I don't have to get there. But I'm going to still, well, I don't know what trees, how I'm going to have to get around that tree. But I'll get to the watchtower. Just for the view. Let's see, mostly Hillfoods. It's like asking to a veteran from World War II that he did it. Yeah, right. Maybe not quite that extreme, you know. Super, you did it. No medal, no commendation. Oh, you did it. Thanks. But yeah, not quite to that extreme. I didn't have to exert nearly as much bravery driving through the mud. So I'm not going to take that much credit. You know, I very much respect the veterans that, you know, helped make the world a better place, more than I respect, you know, a truck driver. But not the truck drivers are bad. Okay. None of these are for me now, but that's okay. Used to play Halo Reach on the 360. Nice. I wonder if I could probably, is that still available in the Xbox store? I could get it and play it on my Xbox One, maybe. Probably not. I'm glad to see now that most AAA games are available on the various consoles. I mean, Nintendo will always be Nintendo, but Microsoft and PlayStation seem to have a better relationship than they once had. Microsoft released watchtower open, launch the observation quickly. No, launch the observation, get back up there, hit the brake. No, brake. Okay, it wasn't much of an observation, I'll give him that. Let's get a better observation, shall we? Yeah. Okay. Let's get rid of this vignette. Hate the vignette. And open the aperture so everything's nice and clear. And no! I exited photo mode. Oh, I hate when I do that. No. Increase the field of view while we're at it. And free cam! There we go. Now, this is what we call an observation. Actually, I can't get quite as high as the tower. But there you go. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, now I know why the observation was so bad, because the view from here stinks. Let's go back to the game. Now you feel like Collins McRae? You feel like playing it, or? Let's see. Okay, what's next? Now I'm about done here with this truck. I am going to go back to the Rezvani and get to this watchtower, and maybe also I got to do observations in here, but I can get over here to get to this watchtower without going through gray areas. So that's what I'm going to do. Where is the Rezvani? Probably from the garage is the best place of doing this. Right, yeah, there's the garage. Oh, how do I get over there? Let's take this bridge. And there's a bridge there. I have to follow the pipeline, but the Rezvani should be able to do that. There is a way to get out here. I could do that contest. How do you get out here? Oh, you have to go across here. There's a bridge across here. Okay. But how do you get to that area? There is a road by this. You have to go through this way? Apparently, I drove something here, and it wasn't the Hercules. I need to take the Hercules here. Or not the Hercules. Yeah, the Jeep. Not the Hercules here. So I can do a scan. Maybe that's what I want to do next, actually, because that will help me figure out how to get over there. I'll do that next. That'll be nice and easy. So we're going to the garage. No, you stop your engine. You stay put. I might need you over here, so you stay put. You feel like destroying your Subaru. I hope you mean in Colin McRae, right? And not in like not in your real life. What was I doing besides getting distracted? Nothing besides getting distracted. Okay, let's go back to the garage. It's not the garage. Let's leave the garage. Turn on the engine, or turn on the lights. Put on the all-wheel drive. I have to get to the trailer store, get another pew pew pew, and then... Why did I not do this before? It's so easy. I must have been wanting to do this and then just never did. Okay, that's going to be covered. Oh, I know why I didn't, kind of, because I knew this was going to be covered by that circle. But this isn't going to be covered by that circle. Okay, so this road, and I don't know what's over here, but I can do a scan like there and see how much of that I can get. But I don't like gray, because gray might be, gray areas, upgrades might be hiding there. That's the one. Let's see, 44 minutes. Whoa! But also I want to see if maybe there's a secret. If there's a way of getting to that middle easier. So the Rezvani can get there. do the contest, go to the other watchtower. I got a full tank because I just bought it. Just pulled it out of the garage, bought the trailer. This vehicle's kind of hard to... Oh, if you're struggling with the game and you're having a hard time controlling the cars, they're fishtailing a lot, go to settings, and I say this every so often, under game, steering mode, if you're playing it with a controller, go ahead and put it on steering wheel. If you look at the last part of the flavor text on the right, the very last half of the last sentence, it says, will cause automatic wheel centering if this mode is used with a controller. That is so much easier, because then it drives just like every other driving game with a controller. Otherwise, when you first, and that wasn't available when the game first came out and people complained that, why do I have, if I let go of the controller, why doesn't it center the wheel? It keeps the wheels crooked, and then I go fishtailing all over the place. I have to keep turning the controller back and forth till I get it centered. And so they added that ability. If you put it on steering mode, steering wheel mode, it works fine with a controller, and it makes the controller feel like a controller normally feels. You let go of the controller centers, and so do the wheels. So, pretty clear that they did not test play it when it first came out with the controller. Alright, I am taking a drink. A lot of fluid, I'm out, but I'm almost there. And, boy, if I wasn't carrying this trailer, this would be so much easier. I say that a lot when I'm driving this truck. You've probably seen earlier, maybe not in this YouTube episode, but earlier in the stream. So a few episodes. Speaking of watching earlier episodes on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/@RollCageTV, you will find a featured games playlist. That featured games playlist has all the games that I've ever played on stream that I have YouTube series for, and one of the featured games on there, near the end, so you might have to open it up, is SnowRunner. If you click on that, it will show you all the latest SnowRunner videos, scrolling all the way back to my earliest SnowRunner videos. So if you've just missed an episode, you want to go back and watch, a couple of episodes. But also on my homepage, there's a whole section for SnowRunner. Like there's a featured game section, there's also a SnowRunner section, and that has a separate list of playlists. Each of those playlists are in order from beginning to end, so they're in bingeable order. So if you're watching this and it's like episode, I don't know what episode, 10 or something, you can, and you want to see from the beginning of just this region, well then you can go watch the region 5 Yukon playlist and watch that from beginning to end. And if you're watching this live on Twitch, that doesn't exist yet because this is being streamed like a month before it's actually going out on YouTube. Yeah, I guess it's dark enough. I try to be at least a couple weeks ahead, but right now I'm quite a bit ahead. So if anything tragic happens to me, YouTube won't find out for a month after Twitch does. I don't know what, dump truck for dump truck. I'm not doing that now. I might as well just turn that off. One more. Now, I don't know how far I'm going to get here, but my guess was that would be about as far as I'm going to get. If I can get to those rocks, I'll be able to go a little bit better. I don't know what this river current is like, and I know Oh, I'll be able, I can see now that I can go farther because I can see I've got a rock trail there, and that's the exact thing that this vehicle was made for. Get up on these rocks. I might not, that rock trail may not be connected well. And carrying this trailer, this might be a really dumb idea. Oh, I see, the road was there. The road leads up to the rocks here. Okay, let me stop here and take a look at the map again. Okay, I will do one scan here, but I'm going to have to go to the right also. And going to right there may have to be another time. Here's been scanned. Okay. Yes, I will have to get over here at some point. And that's probably from here, so that's a priority to get there. But I'm also, as long as I'm here, we'll see how far upriver I can get. Be able to scan that corner. There is stuff here, so I have a feeling. What is Lonely Island? Have I discovered that yet? Do I know what it is? No. That's an objective I need to get to. Okay. So that's the next job. Come up through these rocks, get to Lonely Island, see what that's about. And from there, maybe I'll be able to get to the corner. And let's see. If I can get there in 3 minutes, I'll be at a good stopping point. See, I thought maybe this was a rock trail, and I could tell that from the map. That's something you didn't get in Kola Peninsula. You can tell anything from the map in Kola Peninsula. You couldn't tell what was passable, what was not passable. Yeah, I hated Kola Peninsula. Anyone that watched any of that would know. It took me 130 some episodes to get through Kola Peninsula when I was averaging 100 on all the other episodes. Oh, come on. The trailer's stuck on something? Trailer's stuck on something. Oh, I'm stuck on a rock. That's the problem. Okay. There we go. I am still struggling with the trailer. Come on, get a grip on something. All right. Spider-Man to the rescue. And what do you want from me? I'm gonna stop my engine, read this. Hi, I'm Petro. I can't remember what nickname I started using here. Yukon. Took? I'm named Took. There's some other Hi, Took. I'm Petra. Tell you a Canadian hat. Hi, Took. I'm Petro, and my car died right in the middle of this marsh. Will you help me tow it home? Just be careful. The soil here is very weak and hard to drive on. Yeah, sure. Let me look at it. What is it? Lonely Island. Okay. Oh, I'm supposed to deliver it there and pick it up here. Okay, well, it's going to stay here. I am going to come through the brick. It would not help me to do another scan here. So I'm going to come through the brick place. It looks like I can get over here. Come here. I can maybe do another scan there. I'm going to have to come back around, do the scan there. Come over here. I don't know how far I can get here, but I'll be able to get through here somehow. I might need another vehicle to tow me, but let's get up here a little bit. Scan. I might be able to get farther. I bet I can get farther. However far I can get. I want to see if I can get to that corner. But that's going to be in the next episode. So if you're watching on Twitch, stick around. My light's on? No, it's so hard to tell sometimes. If you're watching on Twitch, stick around. I'm just taking a break here. I'll be back in a few minutes. If you're watching on YouTube, though, that's going to be it for this YouTube episode. The next episode will be the next weekday at noon U.S. Central Time, which is almost always 6 p.m. or 1800 hours in the UK, and almost never 0600 hours the next day in New Zealand. But it is plus or minus an hour based on the time of year. Either way, thank you much for watching. Twitch it. Once again, stick around. YouTube next episode. I will see you then.